Now let's talk about Menzgold. The gold leadership firm has announced a schedule for the validation of document of its client. The company has for months failed to pay its customers after a Securities and Exchange Commission crackdown and the arrest of the CEO Nana Pia Mensah in Dubai. The company has announced a payment schedule, and we're going to talk about this payment schedule. What really is in it? Well, I have here in the studio Ni Amatefio. He's head of communication. Mr. Amatefio, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, that's a very bold smile there. So finally, Menzgold customers get to hear of some good news. Let's talk about this process. I mean, we have this statement here. So give us a summary of this statement, the schedule and everything, and then we'll go into the details as to what really it means to validate, to validate your documents. Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
So let's start with what you're doing.
Okay, so basically this press statement has to do with the fact that we are announcing to our cherished customer that we've started the validation process, which will kickstart from Monday, 28th of October, all the way to 28th of November. So we have 1 month to go, 31 days to go. What we're doing is that we are starting it from 9 in the morning to 4 each working day, and customers are supposed to bring 5 documents for them to, or for us to validate those documents. And if you could give me the chance, I can go through the document quickly. They are supposed to bring their gold trading agreement, their receipt of gold traded purchase agreement, and then the gold trading commission receipt, and then a valid national ID, and then evidence of gold traded receipt. So these are the 5 documents they are supposed to bring. What we've done, we are not using the main Menzgold branches to do the validation. We've set out outlets to do this validation across the region. So we have 10 outlets in all within the 10 regions, and then we have Greater Accra, we have the Central region, we have the Ashanti region, and the Western region. So all these regions have setting up number of outlets that customers can walk into from Monday, and then they can get their forms or their document validated. Okay,
so this is just a reminder. We have 16 regions now.
Oh yes, so
we have 16 regions now. Okay, so I'll go through the venues for people to have an idea. Those who have investments with you, for them to have an idea where to go. But help us understand this process: validation of documentation. You're asking people to bring 5 documents: gold trading agreement, receipt of gold traded purchase, gold trading commission receipt, valid national ID copy, evidence of gold retrade receipts or agreements. Don't you have all of these in your system already?
Great. That's a good question if asked. If you recall, when the BOG collapsed the microfinance businesses, and then a receivership was appointed, what they did was to first come out with the form they call it the proof of debt form. You know, it doesn't mean that they don't have the database of the customers, but the point is that as far as you're going to dispense funds to people, you need to know the exact documentation that they have before you can dispense those funds to them. So what we are doing is not new at all. I mean, when it comes to financial institution dispensing of funds to customers, we all go through a certain form of validation. For the microfinance, what they did was to ask customers to come for a proof of debt form, which they went for. What we are doing as Menzgold, because we're a gold trading firm, we are not a financial institution, we're a gold trading firm. We transact business with our customers based on certain documentations or contracts or agreements that is signed between us and then the customers. So for us to reach a credible data which we can use now to pay our customers, we need to ask our customers to come up with the document that we'll be giving them, because don't forget that we haven't traded with them for almost a year now, right? So when we are preparing to pay our customers, we need to make sure that the data we are going to use is verified, is validated, and these are the true documentation of our customers. So when you come and then you bring your photocopies of your documentations, then we will now verify those documents that are given to us through our system, and then we can all agree together that what we have now is authentic, it's verifiable, and we can use that to pay our customers.
Some people have said that this is just a way for Menzgold to unnecessarily delay the process and make it very difficult for people who invested with you to get their monies back.
Well, people think that we just came out with this press release, but not at all. You know, when our chief executive came, remember the first thing he did was to the press conference, and he announced some measures that has to be taken before we can pay our customers. So right after that, what we did as management or as Menzgold is to put a schedule, internal schedule together, and we followed this schedule religiously. And if you could see there, this is a copy of the schedule, although it's not for public consumption.
This? Okay,
so this is a schedule towards payment commencement. So you could see that we started from a certain date. You could see. Right.
So this is schedules towards payment commencement.
Exactly.
Please note the following. It goes on to say time, venue,
so you can see that there's a timeline that we are following. And if you could check right there, if you see October, we have what we call setting of validation standard for claims.
Okay.
So this is where we are now. Okay. And we met with the customers' leadership, right? And we told them that in October, this is what we are going, because there are steps that we need to take before we get to the validation process. So we've taken all those steps. What we got into in October is the validation month. That's why we came out with this press release to them to know that we'll kickstart the validation process, and they can go to the various outlets that we've outlined in the press statement to validate their documents.
That's the reason you are giving for the validation. But the question I was asking was how people feel that to bring all of these documents. So it means that if you have lost any of these documents, I cannot have access to my money.
That's the reason why we have to do the validation.
No,
because it's going to help the customer now. Because where we sit, we don't even know which documents the customers doesn't have. We don't know. You see, so through this process, we can know that, well, you don't have your trading contract agreement, you don't have your commission receipt, you don't have the retraded agreement, this and that you don't have, this is what you have. So we can address those issues adequately, and then so that when we commence payment, we will not come back to those issues again. So it's good we are doing it. It's good for the customer, it's good for us as well. Okay, so customers should not think that this is something just we are using to buy time, but not at all. In fact, if we don't come out with this per the schedule that we have, then it means that we are not doing anything at all. That's what it means. Because the leadership agreed with us that this is what we are doing, and they've agreed that when it gets to that point, we'll announce it to them, and then we will start the validation process.
Okay. Again, question is, if anybody lacks a single part of the list that you've given, will they still get their investments back? Okay,
so we have the designated outlet that you have to go, and then we've listed the documents you have to bring. So if you don't have any of those documents, whatever you have, you still have to go to the outlet. You have to go to the validation center, and then let them know the issues, the documents you have, what you don't have, and they will address those issues adequately for you. But don't sit down and say that because I do not have those documents, or I don't have a document A, B, and C, then I will not go thinking that we have the document there. Yes, we do have it. But the point that you have to show up and let us know that indeed you are a true customer of Menzgold. Don't forget, when this issue started, you need a lot of people coming out to say that they are Menzgold customers. In fact, at one point in time, every board that you ask, they will tell you that they are Menzgold customers.
You don't believe
and there was this joke that even girlfriends, when girlfriends ask their boyfriends for money, they tell them that
but we have an idea of how many people had invested, and you could not dispute those figures, would you?
From where?
I mean, from the lawyer.
Idea.
From the lawyer, for example.
What did he say?
How many people do you have?
But the lawyer has said that.
She has.
No,
she has mentioned.
It's the CID that has mentioned a certain.
No, the lawyer has.
The lawyer has
one of the lawyers.
I don't remember.
Amanda Clinton has said it so many times.
Amanda Clinton is not a lawyer.
She's not your lawyer.
Oh,
not
okay,
lawyer. I mean, lawyer for the clients.
Oh, for the clients. Yes. Okay, so where did she get that from?
How many people do you have?
Where did she get that data from?
How many customers do you have?
You know the case is in court.
Yes.
You know, and how many customers we have, it's also before.
So tell us, we're having this
CID is investigating it, so I cannot comment on a case that is in court. It's not prejudicial.
No, but you know, this is not about commenting. This is a fact. This is not something that's been disputed. The fact is that we have so and so number of customers. We have 25 customers. That's a fact. If you have it in your books, it's a fact, and it will not be.
So how come
it will not be an issue of dispute?
How come the CID is saying we have 16,000?
And you don't think you have 16,000?
I mean, we've contested that. We said we don't have 16,000 customers.
How many do you? How many do you insist you have?
See, certain information is between us and the customers.
No,
we cannot share.
The customers are watching you. Some of them are sending me messages right now.
None of the customers have asked me how many customers do we have.
But
none of them.
No, if that's the case, no. Why are you here? You're here because you're speaking to the customers for whom you have prepared this document.
True.
And so the same customers are interested in every bit of their conversation.
What they are interested
to get their money.
Is how to get their money.
But we're having this conversation, and we need to be transparent and open as much as possible.
What's the bottom line?
So who are you here to talk to? You're here to talk to
I'm
people.
saying that the interest of the customer is how to get his or her money.
How many customers do you have?
Do you disagree?
Do you want to say it or not?
No, do you disagree with the fact that the bottom line, the crux of the matter?
CID says you have 16,000, and I'm saying so because you have a list of processes that you want people to go through.
Good.
And I'm saying this because I wanted to find out how prepared are you to take care of all of these customers within 1 month?
Good.
So it's a very valid question. And so the question is, do you want to answer it or not? You said that CID says you have 16,000. You dispute it. What is your disputing figure?
We know the number of customers we have.
How many?
You understand? It is not in doubt at all as far as we're concerned.
How many do you
But
have?
I'm telling you that there's a case in court that the CID or government is making against us. So we don't have to feed them with facts or evidence to prosecute us. Do you understand? They have to do their investigations to come out with how many customers we have.
Okay.
But the bottom line is what the customer needs. It's his or her money. Okay. And there's a process that we have to go through in order to pay the customers money to them.
So
and one of these processes is this.
I want to understand this process.
Great.
It looks quite cumbersome. You have to bring all of these documents. You go through all these documentation to be sure that this person has an investment with us.
True.
Is 1 month enough? Let's assume that we're dealing with the 16,000 figure. Is 1 month enough for you to take care of all of these people?
Well, that's a very good question if asked. And then I'll take you back to the microfinance thing. And I remember that when the receivership, they gave a certain deadline, a 1 month deadline, and they realized that people were not coming forth. So they extended the date for them. And when we get to a point that we realize that the 1 month is not enough, why not? We are working for the customers. We need to get a credible data to work with. Sure. So if it comes to the point that we have to extend the time, we would definitely do that, because what's the bottom line? So make sure that we get a credible data to work with.
Very well. I have some messages here from people who say, like you say, people who say they are Menzgold customers. And so I'll just read a few of them, and then we'll go on with your letter or your statement, and we'll wrap up. He says, I am a client of Menzgold. I'm currently at Sunyai, but I joined in Central Region. Can I send my document to Sunyai, or do I have to go to Central Region? Okay, that's a very good one. We operated in 6 branches. Okay. Jolo, East Legon, and then Tema, Takwa, and then Kumasi we have 2. Okay. So the validation that we are doing, we're not using the branches. Yeah. Okay, we are using outlets to do it. So it doesn't matter where you trade it. It doesn't. Okay. You can be in Takwa, you can come all the way to Osu to do your validation. It's accepted. Okay, you can do the validation anywhere. Anywhere. Essentially. That's why if you look at the statement that was issued, if you look at point 3, we said that all customers are expected to visit any of the respective outlets within the hours of 9 to 4. So any of your choice, you can go in there and make sure that you get your document validated. A quick one though, before we go on with the messages. The date, the statement is dated 24th of October 2019. What's the problem? I need to check what I have. Well, this is what I have. It says 24th of October. Yeah, what I have is 23rd of October. I don't know, but it's today that we issued it. So you could see clearly that what I have here is 23rd of October. This was issued as well. It's possible that you did the correction. I can see something like 24, but anyway. Because, I mean, people are also asking. Some of the messages are coming in. They're saying to cross-check the dates on the statement. The most important thing is that the statement is signed by me, as we have always agreed that. So you made a mistake in the first one? No, I'm saying that the most important thing of this has to do with the signature, because we've told our customers there it is, your signature. Any document or any statement that comes from which is authentic will have my signature. So as far as it has my signature, it's authentic. So this one has your signature. It says 24th. Was that a mistake? It does. No, just so we are clear, just so we know that we're on the right path. Is that a mistake? They should consider the 23rd. It's issued today. They should ignore it today. Ignore the 24th. Okay. Ignore the 24th.
Yes.
If you have seen this and
we
you are
issued it today. Yeah.
if you have seen this and you are confused, ignore the 24th.
Yes.
Okay. I have so many messages.
No, do.
I just want to try and look at the critical ones so that we get answers.
Good.
Clenam at Kibi says, please, can you give us the list of the documents Menzgold is demanding again?
Okay.
Okay. So the list is the gold trading agreement.
Let me explain that quickly for them to get it.
Please.
Now, what we are asking them to bring is photocopies, not original. So one, we are seeing the gold trading agreement. Now, the gold trading agreement is when you walk into Menzgold and you wanted to trade with us, we sign a contract or an agreement with you, that is between the company and then the person who wants to trade with us. That contract or that agreement is what we are requesting. So that is a gold trading agreement. So you need to do a photocopy of, I think it's 4 pages or so of that agreement, and then you bring it to us. The next one is a receipt of gold traded or purchased. Now, when you come to Menzgold, what we do is to trade in gold. So we are coming in to trade gold with us. So the receipt that you have where you purchase your gold, and it doesn't matter where you purchase, either Brew or any other, because what you do when you come to us, what we demand is your gold and your receipt. So that receipt, do a photocopy of that and add it to the agreement. The next one is the commission receipt. The commission receipt is that because we have the platform to trade your gold for you, we charge you a certain amount of money, and that's the commission. And we issue a receipt to you. That receipt, we are demanding that you do a photocopy of that and add it to the 3. The last one is your national ID, a valid national ID, and it depends on which ID you have: voter's ID card, driver's license, passport, whatever ID you have. You can do a photocopy of that, and then you bring it to us. So these are the core documents that we need for you to come for your validation.
I hope that this makes sense to you, but it looks like there are a lot more questions, and probably we can have this conversation again so we can address them. But this person is asking that, what if I'm outside Ghana within the 1 month period given? Can someone submit those documents on my behalf, and those 5 documents be okay? We slowly mention them.
Perfect question. Perfect question. And that's the point. And if you're outside the country and you have the document here, you can call your relative or your friend or whatever, and they can do the validation on your behalf. Somebody can do it in someone's instead, and it's done. You come, you make sure that you go, let us know who you are doing it with. You also ask to pen down your name, and then we'll go through the validation with you. Okay.
So I take my final question, but before that, this gentleman says that tell him we need the money badly. No games this time round. But I have people asking whether you are going to pay with interest or you're paying the principal sum.
Oh, I think we've gone past this stage already. I think if you look at the 8th October last year press conference, a press statement that we issued, which says that we are not going to pay. We said we are not going to pay extra values anymore. What we are going to pay now is principal. So when we start payment, what we will pay is principal that the customers we're going to pay that to them.
So you just want to know, my understanding is that you just want to know that people have their documents, that it is possible you may not have all the documents, you can still come if you have an investment and you will validate that. It is also possible that you don't have a document at all, but your name is in your system. If you come, if that person comes,
not your name only, because every customer that trades with us has a Menzgold account
so
number.
As in your details will be in the system.
So you can come with your Menzgold account number, and then we can take you through the process.
But it's easier if you come with all of these documents.
That would be great if you come with all your documents.
Okay. So the places where you can go, I'm just going to go through the places where you can go quickly. Greater Accra region, you can go to Osu. Opposite the Osu police station, Dansoman. You can go to, after Dansoman roundabout, the Bechem bus stop. Odoko, opposite Anointed Electricals Company, Mile 7, adjacent Ecobank, Medina, at the Tamaliloi station, Awoshi, opposite Victory Bible Church, and Kaswa. For the central region, you go to opposite Walantu Junction, and Ashanti region, Edum, adjacent Melcom, Breman, behind Breman Park, adjacent Church of Christ, Western region, Bogoso, adjacent multi.
So let me just add that from Monday, we are going to open the call center. We have a special call center that we're going to set up, or we've set it up for customers to call in, and the numbers to call to is part of the release that we issued. So kindly get a copy of it, get the numbers. If you have any problems, if you have problems with locating where the outlets are, just call the numbers and they will direct to the outlets.
Okay, so the numbers are 0202 404097, 0202 404074, 0271 920784, and 0270193446. I'm sure that maybe later Menzgold can come and pay, and then we'll run the adverts.
So this numbers will be activated on Monday. People should not start calling now.
It will be activated on Monday.
Monday they can start calling.
But so just a quick one.
Sure.
After validating my documents, when do I get my money?
Good. So when you're done with the process, then we'll issue a receipt for you that shows that you've been validated, and then you are due for payment. So when we are done with the validation, the next thing we will do is to communicate to our customers when we will start payment.
Okay, when?
That, of course, we will have to take that. I can't take that.
At least you know that you're taking the money in a month, and you're doing the validation in a month.
It's likely also we might extend it. You understand?
Okay,
so it's not good for me to even give a date. But what I'm saying is that this is just the process to bring final resolution to the problem.
I get it.
So let's deal with the validation now. When we are done with it, we will come out and announce, as we've done today, the date for the commencement of payment.
Okay, like I said, I guess that we may have to, allocate some more time so we can take more of your questions, and those who have your money stuck there, hopefully we'll get a clearer picture of the roadmap. Thank you very much for coming, Mr. Matthew. Me, Amar Matthew, he's head of communications for Menzgold, talking about how you can go validate your documents so you can hopefully get your money after the validation process. Thank you very much for coming once again.